ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्। ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणी। यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैर्वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैर्गायन्ति यं सामगाः। ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनो यस्यान्तन्न विदुः सुरासुरगणा देवाय तस्मै नमः। भगवद्गीता अध्याय 10 श्लोका 14 सर्वमेतदृतं मन्ये यन्मां वदसि केशव न हि ते भगवन् व्यक्तिम् विदुर्देवा न दानवाः। Arjuna wants to request Krishna to elaborate on his vibhuti. Before requesting, Arjuna glorifies Bhagavan and he also expresses his trust in Bhagavan's words. In this shloka particularly, Arjuna is expressing his trust, his faith in Bhagavan's words. He Kesava, O Kesava, Yat Mam Vadasi, what you tell me, your words. Etat sarvam ritam manye, I understand that all of that is true. All that you tell me is true. Arjuna has total trust in Bhagavan's words. And now he wants to listen to the vibhuti from Bhagavan himself. Suppose Krishna says, you can ask somebody else. If Arjuna is asking about Vibhuti, tell me about yourself, then Krishna might as well say, please ask somebody else. Therefore, Arjuna says, nobody else can tell about the Vibhutis better than Bhagavan himself. Therefore, Arjuna is asking Bhagavan himself directly. Nahite Bhagavan Vyaktim Vidurdevana Danava. Hey Bhagavan, O Lord, nobody else knows your glory completely. Te Vyaktim, your manifestation, your Vibhuti. Here, Vibhuti is called Vyakti because Vibhuti is nothing but the divine manifestation, the special manifestation. Devaha na viduhu. Even the devatas do not know. Na danavaha. Even the danavas, the asuras, even they don't know the vibhuti. Therefore, only Bhagavan alone can say, only Bhagavan alone can explain the vibhutis. Shloka 15. Swayamevatmanatmanam vedhatvam purushottama bhutabhavana bhutesh devadeva jagatpate. Now, Arjuna addresses Bhagavan with great devotion. The second half of this shloka shows various ways of addressing Bhagavan. Arjuna addresses Bhagavan with the different adjectives. He Bhuta Bhavana. Bhuta Bhavana, one of the adjectives. Bhagavan is called Bhuta Bhavana. Bhutani Bhavayati iti Bhuta Bhavana. The creator of all the beings. All our bodies, all our minds, all our senses are created by Ishvara. Therefore, Bhuta Bhavana, Bhutesha, he is the Lord of beings. He does not stop with the creation. After creation, he sustains also. Therefore, he is called Bhutesha. the Lord of all beings. He Deva Deva, Lord of even the Devatas. The Shastras talk about various Devatas, Indra, Agni, and so on. Bhagavan is the ruler of all the Devatas. Bhishasma dvatah pavate, Bhishodeti suryaha, Bhishasmadagnischendrascha, Mrityurdhavati panchamaha. Bhayadasyagnistapati, Bhayattapati suryaha, Bhayadindrascha vayuscha, and so on. There are various Shruti Vakyas. According to the Shruti, even the fire burns on account of the fear of Ishvara. He is the ruler of even the natural forces who are presided by the Devatas. The natural forces are presided over by the Devatas. Even the Devatas function on account of the Ishvara. Therefore, Deva Deva, he is the Lord of the Devatas. He Jagatpati, the Lord of the Jagat. Jagatpati. Purushottama, He Purushottama. In chapter 15, this word is elaborately discussed because chapter 15 is called by this name, Purushottama Yoga. Bhagavan is called Purushottama. He is the greatest Purusha. The Purusha, the Brahman who transcends the Jagat as well as the cause of the Jagat, the Maya. Therefore, he is called Purushottama. Yasmat ksharamati toham aksharaadapi chottamaha atosmi loke vede cha prathitah purushottamaha. The word Purushottama is explained in chapter 50. He transcends both Kshara and Akshara. Kshara means all the manifest objects. All the manifest objects are called Kshara. And Akshara means the unmanifest, the Maya. Paramatma transcends both Kshara and Akshara, both manifest and unmanifest universe. Therefore, he is called Purushottama. Tvam, you, Swayam eva Atmana Atmanam Vetha. You know yourself by yourself. Swayam eva, yourself. Swayameva means not others. Others do not know much about you. Already it is stated Even the devatas do not know. Even the danavas do not know. Therefore, swayameva, only you, atmanam vetha, know yourself. The commentators say both your savikalpa rupa and nirvikalpa rupa. The Paramatma has two rupas. One is the nirvikalpa rupa, means the nature which transcends all forms, which transcends all upadhis, all attributes. It is the nirvikalpa rupa. Then with the upadhi, with the maya upadhi, the Paramatma gets another rupa. It is the savikalpa rupa, the rupa with the attributes, the nature of Paramatma with the attributes. So Atmanam includes both the natures. Atmana vetha, Atmana, by your own nature. By stating Atmana, Bhagavan rules out, Arjuna rules out any other means of knowing. If the jiva has to know something, it has to make use of certain means of knowledge. If I have to know something, I have to make use of my instruments, my senses, or some other pramana, other means of knowledge, like inference, etc. We jivas rely on means of knowledge, like senses, etc. But the Ishvara does not rely on any means of knowledge. Ishvara does not rely on any pramana, unlike the jivas. Without any pramana, Ishvara knows everything. This is stated beautifully in Shvetashvataropanishad. Apanipado javano grahita pashyatya chakshussa shanotya karnaha saha achakshuhu pashyati. He sees without eyes and he hears without ear, meaning Ishvara does not depend on karana, indriyas, for his knowledge. That is why Atmana Vetha, you know yourself by yourself. Thus, Arjuna has clarified why he is asking only Krishna, why he wants to hear the vibhutis from Krishna alone. Now he is putting forward his request. in Shloka 16. Shloka 16. Vaktumarhasya sheshena दिव्याह्यात्म विभूतयः याभिर्विभूतिभिर्लोकान् इमास्त्वं व्याप्य तिष्ठसि. Arjuna is requesting Bhagavan to explain the vibhutis. Yabhihi vibhutibhihi, by which vibhutis? Vibhuti, the special manifestations. There are many special manifestations, and these manifestations are there all over the world. The Paramatma pervades the whole universe. Therefore, the Paramatma is there everywhere in the universe. The Ishvara is there everywhere in the universe. Yet, we cannot easily recognize his presence everywhere. Then there are certain special points, certain special forms where we can recognize the presence of the Paramatma with the greater ease. They are introduced first to a beginner of the spiritual pursuit. The vibhutis are very important because he learns to relate to Paramatma through these vibhutis. When he relates to Paramatma through the vibhutis, eventually he learns to relate to the Paramatma in everything. The vibhuti is a stepping stone towards Sarvatma Bhava, comprehending the presence of Paramatma in everything is called Sarvatma Bhava. The vibhutis serve as stepping stones to the Sarvatma Bhava. Therefore, Arjuna is asking about the vibhutis. Which vibhutis? What are the vibhutis by which Paramatma pervades this universe? Iman lokan vyapya tishtasi. You pervade this universe. Paramatma pervades the universe. Since he pervades the universe, his presence is everywhere. Then there are certain special manifestations, and they are the vibhutis. Divyaha Atma Vibhutayaha. Such Divya Vibhutis, such divine Vibhutis. The word Divya literally means otherworldly. Divi Bhavam Divyam, that which is present in the Dyuloka, in the Swarga, is called Divya. So here the word Divya is used in the sense of specially divine. The Vibhutis which are specially divine, the Vibhutis in which the divinity radiates. Asheshena Vaktumarhasi. Krishna is asked, Arjuna is asking Krishna, please tell me the Vibhutis Asheshena, without reserve, without leaving anything behind, completely. You should tell all the Vibhutis. Do not leave anything. Do not skip anything. Arjuna says Asheshena. But later on you will see that Krishna says, I cannot tell everything. I can tell only certain select vibhutis. Though elaborately, the vibhutis are told elaborately, yet not completely. Because Krishna will later on say, it is not possible to complete. Because the vibhutis are innumerable. So please make a note of this Asheshena here. Because later on, Bhagavan will say, I am not telling you Asheshena. And he will give the reason also why he cannot tell everything. Shloka 17. Katham vidyamaham yogin tvam sada parichintayan keshu keshu cha bhaveshu chintyosi bhagavanmaya. In this shloka, Arjuna states the purpose why he is asking about the vibhutis. Arjuna wants to meditate on Ishvara. In order to meditate on Ishvara, he needs a form. We learn meditation through a form where we can recognize the divinity, we can recognize the presence of Paramatma. Such meditations are called upasanas. Here Arjuna wants to do upasana. And for upasana, he wants certain forms. Therefore, he says, Hey Yogin, Arjuna is addressing Bhagavan. Hey Yogin, O Yogi, Bhagavan is the greatest yogi. Tvam aham tvam sada parichintayan katham vidyam. Tvam sada parichintayan. I want to think of you always. Arjuna wants to think of Paramatma always. He wants to fix his mind on Paramatma always. And if he wants to fix his mind on Paramatma always, he needs certain forms. Because the mind requires forms. Our mind can relate to only forms. It is a fact. The mind thinks only in terms of forms. So, how can I think of you always? My mind looks for forms. And most often it does not stay in one form. The mind also looks for a change. All the time, same form can be sometimes boring. Therefore, it is not satisfied with just one form. He wants more forms. Tvam sada parichintayan vidyam. Arjuna wants to know Paramatma. Arjuna wants to attain Paramatma Jnana. In order to attain Paramatma Jnana, one should go through Paramatma Dhyana. And Paramatma Dhyana requires the forms. Therefore, Arjuna asks, Katham Vidyam, how can I know you? By meditating on you always. Meaning, Arjuna wants to meditate on Paramatma always in order to know Paramatma. For attaining Paramatma Jnana, Arjuna wants to do Paramatma Dhyana or Paramatma Upasana, and therefore he wants Vibhutis. Keshu keshu cha bhaveshu chintyosi bhagavanmaya. He Bhagavan, O Bhagavan, tvam maya keshu keshu bhaveshu chintyah asi. In which bhava, in which objects maya chintyah asi. I should be thought, sorry, you should be thought by me. This is passive voice. In Sanskrit, it is passive voice. Maya chintyah asi. So, in Sanskrit, passive voice is more common. unlike English. So the idea is, in what different forms I should meditate on you, I should think about you, I should relate to you. So give me such forms, explain to me such forms. Shloka 18. Vistarenatmano yogam vibhutin cha janardana bhuyah kathaya triptirhi shanvato nasti me mritam. He Janardana, Arjuna is addressing Krishna with the different names. If you look into these verses, Arjuna started in Shloka 12. From Shloka 12 onwards, he uses various names like Kesava, Purushottama, Janardana. He uses various names to address Krishna because Arjuna knows very well that Krishna is not just a human being, he is the avatara, the manifestation of Bhagavan Vishnu himself. He Janardana. The word Janardana is explained in two ways. Number one, Janan Ardayati, Nashayati iti Janardana. Janan, Dushta Janan, Kamsadin, Ardayati, Nashayati iti Janardana. The one who destroys the evil people is called Janardana. There is another explanation of Janardana. Janaihi ardyate yachyate iti Janardana. The one to whom the people pray. The people pray to him. Therefore, he is called Janardana. Thus, there are two explanations of this word. You can find them in the commentaries. He Janardana, Vistarena Atmanaha Yogam Vibhutincha Kathaya. Please explain to me, Vistarena, in detail, Vibhutim Yogancha, your Vibhuti as well as your yoga. Vibhuti means the special manifestations. Yoga means the power, Ishvara's power. Explain to me your Vibhuti as well as your power. Bhuyaha Kathaya. Please tell them again. Bhuyaha. Because already it has been told right from Shloka, from Adhyaya 7, from chapter 7, Bhagavan has been mentioning the Vibhutis. That is why Arjuna says, Bhuyaha Kathaya. Please tell again. I want to hear the Vibhutis again in greater detail. Shanvato nasti amritam shanvataha me traptihi hi nasti. He, because. Why you have to tell me again? Because this Vibhuti is Amrita. It is as tasty as Amrita. Amritam Shanvataha. When I hear this Amrita, Triptirhi Nasti. I am not getting Tripti. Means I want to hear more and more. I don't feel enough. This is Sattvika Sukha. Even listening to the Vibhuti gives a pleasure. Sattvika Sukha to Arjuna. That is why he says, please tell me. I want to hear again and again. Thus, Arjuna has put forward his request, and now Krishna starts explaining the Vibhutis. Shloka 90. Shri Bhagavanuvacha Hantate Kathayishyami Divyāhyātma Vibhūtayaha Pradhanyatah Kuru Shrestha Nastyanto Vistarasya Me. Arjuna has asked for complete explanation of the Vibhutis. Now Krishna says, I will definitely tell you. I will definitely explain you the Vibhutis, but not completely. Do not expect me to tell completely. Asheshataha. Asheshataha is not possible. In fact, any acharya cannot teach all the texts completely. So somebody comes and says, I want to study all the texts of Vedanta. Is it possible? Can anybody teach all the texts? Vedanta has hundreds of thousands of texts. And nobody can teach all the texts. Even Bhagavadgita is not completed. How many years have passed? I think this was started in 2001, 2021. Now already 3 years, more than 3 years have passed. and we are still halfway through. So even Bhagavad Gita takes a long time to study, and it is not that once you have completed all the 18 chapters, you have completely studied Bhagavad Gita. It has to be studied again and again. Bhagavad Gita is a text for life. Lifelong, it has to be studied. And every time you study, you will get something new. You will get better clarity. So even Bhagavad Gita cannot be completely studied. Means even after studying several times, you cannot say, I have completed Bhagavad Gita. Likewise, even the vibhutis cannot be told completely. Therefore, Krishna says, pradhanyata, selectively in accordance with the prominence. He picks some prominent ones and presents. So, He Kurushreshtha, Bhagavan addresses Arjuna, He Kurushreshtha, Kurunam Shrestha, Kurushreshtha, the one who is greatest among the Kurus. In the family of Kuru, Arjuna is the greatest. Therefore, he is called Kurushreshtha. Hanta means now. Te, to you, Divyaha Atma Vibhutayaha, my Atma Vibhutis, my special manifestations, which are Divyaha, which are divine. Pradhanyataha kathayishyami. I will tell you pradhanyataha, selectively, selecting the prominent ones. Why pradhanyataha? Why not asheshena? Why not completely? Bhagavan gives the reason. He, because me vistarasya antaha nasti. There is no end of my expanse. There is no end of my vibhuti. That is why selectively the vibhutis are stated selectively. Now he starts the vibhutis. Shloka 20. Ahamatma gudakesha sarvabhutashayasthitaha ahamadishcha madhyancha bhutanamanta evacha. He Gudakesha. Bhagavan calls Arjuna with another name, Gudakesha. Gudakayaha Ishaha Gudakesha. Gudakesha means the Lord of sleep. One who has mastery over sleep is called Gudakesha. He has control over his sleep. He can wake up early. He is not lazy. Such people are called Gudakesha. So Arjuna is a Gudakesha. So Gudakesha implies a man of self-discipline. Arjuna has self-discipline. Self-discipline is very important in the spiritual pursuit. Therefore, a spiritual seeker should have self-discipline. He cannot be a slave of his temptations, slave of his impulses, or slave of his laziness. So, Arjuna is a man of self-discipline. Therefore, he is called Gudakesha. He Gudakesha, Aham Sarvabhutashayasthitaha Atma. I am the Atma who is present in everybody's mind. Sarvabhutashayasthitaha. Sarvabhutanam Ashayaha. Sarvabhutashayaha. Teshu sthitaha. Sarvabhutashayasthitaha. The one who is present in everybody's mind. The Atma is present in all our mind. The consciousness. The consciousness which is present in all our minds is Paramatma. Ishvara Sarvabhutanam Hriddesherjuna Tishtati. The Ishvara is present in everybody's heart. Therefore, the best way to relate to Ishvara is to be aware of the Ishvara as the very Atma who is present in everyone. To see Ishvara in everyone. This is the best way to relate to Ishvara. If this is not possible, then the other Vibhuti is given. Ahamadishcha madhyancha bhutanam anta evacha. So, aham bhutanam adihi cha madhyam cha antaha cha. Bhagavan is the adi, the beginning means the cause. Bhagavan is the cause of everything. Madhyancha, he is the middle of everything, means the sustainer. And Anta Evacha, he is also responsible for the end of everything, the resolution, Srishti, Sthiti, and Pralaya. So Bhagavan is responsible for the creation, sustenance, and disappearance of every object in the world. This is another way of comprehending the presence of Ishvara in everything. The first one is not easy to be aware of the presence of Ishvara in everything as the very Atma. It requires some maturity, some spiritual maturity. Even this one, being aware of the Ishvara as the creator, sustainer, etc., it is also not so easy. Even this requires some amount of sadhana. After a certain amount of sadhana, it is possible to recognize Ishvara in everything. Whenever you see an object, let us say a tree, you look at a tree. By looking at the tree, you can remember Ishvara. Ishvara has created this tree. Ishvara is sustaining this tree. And ultimately, the same Ishvara will make the tree disappear when its lifespan ends. Thus, when you see any object in the Srishti, when you see any object in the creation, you can remember, you can relate to Ishvara through the object as the creator, etc. So, this is another way of relating to Ishvara. So, the first one is the most preferred. Second most preferred is the second line, Ahamadishcha, etc. If neither of these two are possible, then other options are given. There are so many other vibhutis. You can learn to relate to Ishvara through any of them. We will continue in the next session. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.